Hey, what's up, guys? We're out here at the Chick-Fil-A in Algiers recording today's show. We got a great show for you guys. We're going to talk about the draft and how it pertains to the offense. Do they need a wide receiver? Do they need a tight end? How many guys do they need to draft on defense within the first 3 picks? We get into all this stuff, as well as the confidence levels on some key players like Pete Werner, Alante Taylor, and Trevor Penning. So if you are not signed up to NewOrleans.Football yet, take care of that before you start the show. Use the code DRAFTSEASON23, get you 20% off your first payment. And we got a new website coming next week. So we're growing. Grow with us. Get in. And we guarantee that you will enjoy all the content if you like listening to this show every week. We are coming to you from the mobile Better Call Botto podcast studio, set up at this table at Chick-fil-A, I guess. And we're presented by Hardhide Ponchatoula Strawberry Whiskey. That is an 86 proof blend of liquor and fresh Ponchatoula strawberries blended in New Orleans. It is not for the thin-skinned. Look for it in your favorite bars, stores, and restaurants. And if you need legal help with any of the following: car wrecks, offshore injuries, 18-wheeler collisions, maritime and Jones Act, hurricane, and storm claims, you better call Botto at 504-323-7777 or 985-303-7777 for your free consultation and case review. And make sure you check out our guys. If you aren't here at Chick-fil-A, hit up Veterans Boulevard, go to Firehouse Subs. Great people doing great stuff for the community. They're always looking out, so make sure you look out for them. And now, look out for the start of the show. Hey, welcome back, guys. We are here at Chick-fil-A Algiers recording the NewOrleans.Football Podcast, the mobile Better Call Botto podcast studio. And, of course, we were presented by Hardhide Ponchatoula Strawberry Whiskey. They just had the Strawberry Fest out there. They had a nice turnout, saw the pictures. Check out their Twitter, some instructional videos on how to make different types of drinks. But what I want to ask you, how much do you think a dolphin weighs?
Wow.
Yeah.
Is this related to some weird stuff Will Levis is How much do I think a dolphin weighs?
Yeah, how much do you think a dolphin weighs?
Like a tremendous amount.
Throw a number on it. Like how many pounds?
I mean, there's baby dolphins.
Like an adult dolphin. Like the dolphin in Ace Ventura. How much do you think that dolphin weighs?
1,500.
1,500 pounds. Brandon, how much?
Oh, wow. He likes the number I went with.
1,200. It's 500 pounds. 500 pounds. That might be, the internet could be wrong, but it's definitely not 1,200 pounds. I just looked it up because I saw Mike Thomas doing the deadlifts and it was like 534 pounds. And I was like, well, what weighs 534 pounds? Vending machine and a dolphin and like a full grown pig is 500 pounds. Pigs are heavy. That's a heavy. You don't have a microphone and we are in a lab room. But yeah, 500 pounds. Mike looks good though, man. And you know, kind of seeing him on the comeback trail.
Was he deadlifting a dolphin?
No,
I would
have
just seen that.
It was a lot of weight, but like I just wanted to know what the equivalence of 500 pounds was. But he looks good. He looks like he's gotten more muscular. He looks to be in incredible shape, and I'm bought back in all the way. I don't think I was ever bought in, but I am bought back in on his potential.
I didn't think we were going to start with how much a dolphin weighs. I didn't think we were going to start with Michael Thomas.
Well, that's what we do here.
But unfortunately, we've reached the stage with Michael Thomas that no one is going to believe until they see it. And that doesn't even mean training camp. It has to mean three weeks into September. But the one thing with him, and when I think a big reason why they signed him to that contract is you never doubt that Mike is out there working.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. No doubt. So let me ask you this. If they go into the season, I know that there's a lot of talk about weapons and getting another tight end and getting another wide receiver, getting another running back. What if they strike out?
Yeah.
What if they strike out? They got to run it back with the guys they have. Where is your confidence level with the offense if Derek Carr is just throwing to the guys that are already on the roster?
Well, maybe that's why you started with Michael Thomas.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm the master of the segue. So
he's the answer to that question. If Michael Thomas is on the field, I'm okay with what they got right now. Like, I feel like, I'm sure we're going to get into this. I just wrote about it today. I feel like a running back in the middle rounds of the draft is a borderline must. I keep saying a borderline must. Because if they don't get a running back in the middle rounds of the draft, I'm not going to change my record prediction one bit. Alvin Kamara, Jamal Williams. Maybe they have to bring Mark Ingram back. Maybe Benjamin breaks through. Maybe they find somebody else. They can get through this season with what they have at running back. They should be better. Tight end, they do have Juwan Johnson. They do have Adam Trautman. They do have Taysom Hill. I'd like to see one better, but I'm not going to change my record prediction if they don't get one. Wide receiver, you show me Michael Thomas, Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, and then, backing them up, Traquan Smith, Brian Edwards. I'm okay with that if those guys are all healthy. So adding to that feels a little more like a want.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But you take one away, and obviously Michael Thomas is the most likely one to be taken away for any stretch of time with injury or somebody else. I'd like one more.
Yeah,
I'd like one more. But if they don't get one more, I'm still predicting them to win the division somewhere around 10 games.
Yeah, I don't want to repeat one of my worst takes all the time. There was a time the year they got Emmanuel Sanders. The year they got Emmanuel Sanders, I just didn't feel like, what was that, 2020? I didn't feel like wide receiver was a must that year. I kind of looked at it and I was like, they'll be all right with the guys they got. They got a decent roster. And I kind of feel the same way now, but knowing how thin that depth is scares me. And if one guy goes down, there is kind of maybe a domino effect. We don't know what Brian Edwards is. But I think kind of my feeling about the wide receivers is I feel good about Chris Olave getting better this year. I think Rashid Shaheed is a legitimate NFL wide receiver. I'm always going to believe in Mike's something until you just tell me he's no longer part of the picture. And that's probably probably a flawed
Kevin at one time. I mean, we're at the point where if you sign me up for 9 games like that.
Oh, man, what a bonus.
Yeah. The deal they signed.
You need 17.
Yeah. Oh, 17 feels like free money.
Yeah.
When he signed that deal and the way they structured that deal, my confidence in what the Saints will produce, very similar, unfortunately, to the other team in town. Give me 41 games of Zion, give me 9 games of Michael Thomas at this point. It feels like it would be incredible icing on the cake. They aren't dependent on it, but they can go much farther if they get it.
Yeah. Going down the list of guys in the draft, I know Jordan Addison's really good. I don't know that he's the guy that's the answer to the problem. JSN, sure, if you can get him. The guy I think I kind of like for him is Quentin Johnson from TCU. He's 6'3". He's a little bit light. He needs to gain a little bit of weight.
Watch him a little bit down there. I remember watching him in the Saints locker room where they were glued to the set for the was it the Big 12 title game or was it the first round of the playoffs? I think it was a Big 12 title game. And he is just actually to Max Dugan's fault. He just kept throwing it up to him every time, being like, he's got to catch it 4 out of 5 times, so I might as well just chuck it up there over and over.
Yeah, no, he's good, though, and he's probably the guy that kind of fits the profile. I like some of these other guys, but if you are going to get someone, it needs to be someone that's bigger and has the potential to maybe be a little bit stronger. I think playing strength is something that he would probably need to address a little bit, but you don't need another 5'10" guy. You got Chris Olave. He's obviously taller than 5'10". Rashid's taller, but you have the smaller, speedier guys. You need somebody that is bringing something different to that mix. And he's somebody that I think has the potential to be potentially down the line that replacement for the type of player this offense is lacking right now.
I think Cedric Tillman from Tennessee is another one who fits that mold in the middle rounds. And Tennessee is the new Ohio State for this team, it feels like.
Yeah, Cody Burns.
So that's one that you can write inning. The only problem with, I think, other than the Ohio State receiver in first round, if they get him or have to trade up for him, I feel this way about the tight ends too. We gave him Dalton Kincaid, and we moved up for Dalton Kincaid in our latest mock. We got Michael Mayer to fall to us in the first mock. But I don't think any of the receivers we're talking about that you get in round 2 or 3, I don't think any tight end that you get in round 1 or 2 is an immediate game changer. I think we're talking about people who are going to develop.
They don't need that, though.
Yeah, they don't.
They don't. Yeah, I mean, I think I was saying that it's kind of more of a want than a need is because you can look at it and you can project a solid future if everything goes right. So, yeah, I don't necessarily see it as something that they have to go out and do right away. It's definitely a luxury. When you look at it in conjunction with the defensive line, it feels completely different. But this is just where the roster's at. Everything can be a little bit better right now, and I think they gotta have everything on the table. So if you give them a wide receiver in the first round, tight end in the first round, I like it. I like tight end. I think better than wide receiver in the first. I don't know. Do you feel are you there? Would you rather tight end or wide receiver?
I'm kind of okay with either one. I mean, I feel like both of their clear path to the roster is a year away. I think the tight end would clearly replace Adam Trautman in a year. The receiver would clearly replace probably Michael Thomas in a year. And either one would kind of work their way into the mix this year and fit where they fit. The one sort of void that I don't have, who do you think starts in the slot? You think it just revolves around?
I think it revolves a little bit. Yeah, it does. I don't want to make this a Michael Thomas episode, but you said something interesting that he replaces them in a year. If they
drafted Quentin Johnson,
if Mike plays well though, maybe he doesn't. Like I don't know. The future is so open with him. You could sell me on Mike gets completely back on track. Like at some point I got to stop drinking the Mike Kool-Aid probably, but that's just kind of.
He would still be a free agent on a team that just used its last 2 first-round picks on receivers. Though.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean. That's fair. Yeah. I mean, it's totally fair. It's a totally fair thought. And I mean, you kind of have to operate that.
About if they go offensive tackle, we feel like it kind of pushes Ryan Ramczyk out.
No, he absolutely has to be treated like a lottery ticket. But you could sell me on Mike and the other 2 guys and somebody else kind of fades out. Like if it's Rashid, Quentin Johnson, and Chris Olave, that's a great wide receiver core if all those guys are playing well.
I'm giving you one. One you only get. In this draft, you only get a tight end, receiver, or running back. Only one.
I got to go with the right. I hate myself for that. But so that's looking at it as a 1-year window, though. That's looking at it as this season. I think overall, I would probably take the wide receiver. The positional value is just so high. And if you can give me Quentin Johnson and he hits, and he becomes worthy of that 29th pick, a few years down the road, he's probably worth $16, $17, $18 million. A running back is never going to be worth that much. So I think looking at it as a holistic thing, I'm going with the receiver. But this season, I think they need the running back more.
Well, I think they need the running back long term. I mean,
yeah, but it's cheaper and easier to replace.
The running back room could be, practically empty, within 2 years. So, I think they're all off their mates.
The reason I say that, though, you can go get Jamal Williams and feel great about kind of where you're at. Those guys aren't available.
You can't get a
wide receiver. Yeah,
you can't get a Jamal Williams type at wide receiver. They don't exist.
You aren't getting the league leader in touchdowns. And
for the purposes of my question, in case anyone's screaming that they'd rather have Bijan Robinson than Quentin Johnson, we're assuming Bijan Robinson isn't just sitting there at 29.
Yeah, he's good. I like
go 9th. I might go 2nd.
I like the Falcons for him, actually. I think.
Really?
Yeah, I think that he makes a lot of sense for them. I could definitely see him where they pick 8. I could definitely see that being the pick at 8. But we'll see.
To pair with Lamar Jackson.
Well, I don't know about that, but that would make them a pretty solid offense. I don't know. It just seems like something that they could do. It just fits the profile kind of what they've been trying to accomplish, I think.
How much? All right, let's make this a Derek Carr conversation. We're crowdsourcing here. Morgan Williams brought this up. I swear I had the same idea, but I have to give him credit for it. Jalen Hurts was in the news today, got his $50+ million, and that officially bumped Derek Carr down another peg. I think he's now 14th.
It's crazy.
In average salary among quarterbacks. And if Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, and give me one more. 3 more guys that are still waiting for their deal. Lamar. If they get their deals, he won't be in the top half.
Yeah.
He'll be...
Well, that's what you said when they signed him, too. Yeah, that was kind of the case for him being paid very appropriately for where he ranks among NFL starting quarterbacks.
Very appropriately, without question. So if you're making the case for Derek Carr, he's not getting paid like a top 10 quarterback. But how much does he need more than what he has right now? When your confidence in Derek Carr, does he have what he needs in Olave, Shaheed, Thomas, Juwan Johnson, Troutman, Taysom Hill? Does he have what he needs to be as good as he can be?
I think he has what he needs to be good. I think both those receivers, and I'm talking about Shaheed and Olave, I think they help a lot. I think they are kind of one piece away, though, for sure. I think he needs somebody else that can make a contested catch consistently. Juwan, as we've mentioned a million times, is on the rise in that category. He was second in the team, I think, in contested catches last year and made a handful of them. But you look at how he's played throughout his career, Carr, like when he has a really good tight end, and again, Juwan could be that guy, but if you give me somebody with a little bit more potential and just pair him with Juwan, and now you got a two-headed monster there, I like it even more. But like Dalton Kincaid, we took him in the last mock, and part of the vision for that was just kind of how well he moves and how athletic he is at that position. And Carr with Waller was just outstanding. So if you could give him that one more piece that would help him in the red zone, where it's Mike Thomas and somebody else that's consistently making those plays. And again, Juwan factors into that, but if you get another piece, I think all of a sudden your guy that's 14th in salary is playing, maybe is the 10th best quarterback in the league, and that would be a very, very good outcome. So And it's not just weaponry. I think that he could use a little bit more protection as well. I would feel better about his ability to perform at his highest level if they had another interior player that I think was ascending instead of maybe you look at Pete and you feel like maybe he's going the other direction there. So I think there's still a couple pieces away from kind of being where they can fully be a fully formed offense.
Does a new tight end basically take Adam Trautman off the field? I mean, is he like a healthy game day and active in this scenario?
If they drafted one, yeah, I think that's definitely possible. Look, he's had every opportunity, and I think he could still get there. And if he has the opportunities to play this season, maybe he does have the Cesar Ruiz type rise. And we've seen the glimmers with him, but then you also see the concentration drops, the fumbles, and just some of the assignment errors, and he just hasn't ascended the way they thought he was going to. So if they draft someone, absolutely they're cutting into his role. But I think that he's on notice anyhow. I think he's aware of what he's up against and what he needs to prove to kind of, lock in and be that guy.
You just kind of glossed over it, but I'm going to make you hammer down on this. What are we missing with Juwan Johnson? Why shouldn't he be the answer to, they've got Michael Thomas. They want a little more insurance. They want more of a contested catch. Why isn't it Olave, Shaheed, Thomas Johnson? Why isn't that enough?
It could be. I just think that you could be better. You always can be better. Look, I think their wide receivers could be enough. But we're talking about Quentin Johnson being an option for him. So it's not really like a Juwan thing. I think it's just that you could have a two-headed monster.
I'm asking a Juwan question. Because we both see it the same way. If Juwan Johnson was Darren Waller, we'd say they're set.
Yeah, maybe. Well, maybe. I still think that you need the inline type player, and that's not Kincaid. That's more Mayer. I think if you're looking at Juwan as kind of being – but look, I like Kincaid because I think he could be like Travis Kelce. Like I think he has that type of ability, so I wouldn't pass up on him if he was there. But if you're telling me to put it together to where all the pieces fit just cleanly and clearly and you're moving forward with Juwan being inserted in there, I think Mayer's a better fit for that type of offense. But look, if you can upgrade there and have – that type of offense, you do it. And I know everybody kind of feels a certain way about Pete Carmichael. Nobody was harder on him than me. But I think if you gave him these pieces and said, hey, you got to find a way to make all these work, I think that he could figure that out one way or another. There's enough stuff in the Jimmy Graham playbook that you can go, dust that off and blow it off and pull some stuff out and, make all these guys work.
You know who else we're forgetting every time we have this conversation? Taysom Hill. And we talk about how they could use...
I'm done with him at that.
But we're also...
He just needs to be a ball carrier.
That's fine, but we're also talking about how they have Alvin Kamara and Jamal Williams and need one more running back. Where does Taysom... We had conversations last year where we were
hold on.
Nominating Taysom Hill for team
I'm not going to let you devil's advocate this for a half hour. Yeah. Where do you feel? What do you feel?
That's the thing. Are we forgetting? What do they need to do to make... We had legitimate conversations in January where I think we discussed whether Taysom Hill was the team's MVP or not.
Yeah.
So why are we saying they need yet another tight end and yet another running back? Why is
because he's I don't think he's enough of either.
Yeah,
I don't think.
But he should be, shouldn't he?
I think he's a nice.
What way can they make him that?
Yeah, well, part of the running back equation is Alvin's upcoming suspension and where he's at in his career. It's a long-term issue and a short-term issue, and I don't know if. I don't know that you drop Taysom in there and say, hey, go be our outside zone running threat. Go.
You don't.
Yeah.
You know what his run is going to look like.
So I think you need somebody else on that level. And I like Taysom as a mix-up at tight end, but I'm not sending him out there to run a crossing route, 6 times a game and go up the seam. And he's just not that guy. His hands are too small to make those plays. I think he's good at the stuff he does, and I think you keep him in that role, but ultimately, I think he's the spice on top of the he's the Chick-fil-A sauce packet.
I like
it.
I thought you were
gonna love it. It makes everything taste better, but you still need the chicken. I don't know that you got enough chicken with just Taysom.
Taysom Hill's the Chick-fil-A sauce.
He's a Chick-fil-A sauce.
Who's the French fries on the Saints?
I don't know.
Is that what Derek Carr is now?
I don't know. They need him to be the chicken. I mean, he's got to be the guy that makes this thing go.
Then it's Cam Jordan.
Cam Jordan?
It's just always there. Viable.
There you go.
Defendable.
He's a waffle fry?
I think he would accept that.
All right.
Definitely. We're not getting paid extra for that. All right, so I wrote this running back article, and I showed through history that I looked at the top 25 guys in combined yards from scrimmage, and 13 of the top 25 were not drafted in the first 2 rounds, but 6 were drafted in the first round. 6 were drafted in the second round, then 4 in the third round, then 4 in the fourth round, and then the rest were scattered after that. If I told you you're going to get the guy where your magnet is on your board, what round is perfect? What do you want to invest in the running back position?
So I like 3. I like round 3. I think that you have kind of all your options. You're gonna have Devon. You're gonna have Kendrick Miller, Tajay Spears, the UCLA guy, Charbonnet.
You won't have all of them. You'll have half of them.
They're going to be available in that range. You're going to have some of them. Some of them are going to be there, and I think you got a chance to get one of them. So I think that's the spot. If you wait for, maybe you get Spears there and you're okay with it. Maybe one of these other guys falls there and you're okay with it and you like that pick. But I think I feel comfortable in 3 that I want to have an option. I want to be able to pick my guy, and I think that you can do it there. Right? If Gibbs gets by.
No, Gibbs doesn't. So I asked this question because do you consider taking Gibbs at 40? Is it important?
Well, if Gibbs is at 40, yeah, I would take Gibbs at 40. I don't think Gibbs is going to get past Philadelphia, though. I think that, and look, they might be too analytically focused to do that. But
consider him at 29.
I think he's such a good fit in that offense. I think the Saints got bigger needs. If they took him at 29, I would be open-minded to it. I think that the right investment, but I don't know. I like the value later, and that's just so ingrained in me with it's kind of my own personal football philosophy. But if he's special enough, I would never be like that was the dumbest thing they could have done. Like I think that he could be worth it, but I would rather wait. I think that they just have too much they need.
Yeah, I don't love Gibbs at 29. I mean, this is the short version of the long Hendon Hooker debate we had too, where it feels like something about 29 just feels a hair too early for that. Even though you'd celebrate if he was there at 71. It feels almost like a luxury pick. It is a need, but it feels almost like too much of a luxury to take at 20.
No, I agree with that. One day we're going to release a director's cut of the Hendon Hooker debate.
I feel everything I feel about Hendon Hooker. I guess I feel about Jahmyr Gibbs.
I thought Jake was gonna. He was looking at us like, man, when did I join?
He stayed, and he's still here. He made it through that.
All right, so
we've gone 20 minutes without talking about the defense. And that was, I think, the reason we both had all these offensive topics is I think we're just kind of glazing over that. We kind of feel like the offense is okay.
It kind of is. I got another one for you though. Greg Rosenthal, he does his annual GM rankings.
Oh,
he went through them. I was kind of surprised where he put Mickey Loomis. I thought he was going to be harder on him because they've been pretty critical of the stuff they did. They put him at 14. How do you feel? How do you feel about Mickey being 14?
That feels probably low to me, but to be fair, I wasn't prepped for this question. I'd want to see the names that were
any question.
I'd want to see the names that we're actually talking about, but it feels low to me because I kind of feel like there's probably 10 GMs who don't deserve to be higher than him just because their track record's not long enough. So I feel like you're ranking him probably 14 out of like 22.
Yeah,
who've been around.
Yeah,
and that feels really low. Like, is there a whiz? Like, are they already putting some of these guys that are just 2-3 years on the job ahead of him? That doesn't seem fair. So, if he's 14th among veteran GMs, that seems way too low to me.
Yeah, look, I think one of the things that is probably a little bit flawed with any type of process like this is that it's going to be based on recency. And I guess recency, the Saints have been kind of stuck in the middle a little bit. They're trying to find their way out of the 7-9 area. So I get it.
Well, look, I already see whose name is in the headline. Brad Holmes from the Detroit. There's no way I'm ranking Brad Holmes ahead of Mickey Loomis. With all due respect to the Lions almost making the playoffs once. Mickey Loomis has made the playoffs like 8 times, and I mean I think people think Mickey Loomis just got Drew Brees and Sean Payton, and that's all he did. And I mean, under his reign, first of all, he's the one,
right?
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, he is the one that hired Jeff Ireland, who's been one of the best college scouts in the league, who oversaw, I think, the 2006 draft before Ireland was here, the 2017 draft after Ireland was here. I think they're in anyone's top 10 of the century, both of them. Yeah. Cameron Jordan, Teron Armstead, Marshawn Lattimore, Alvin Kamara. Like, there are so many, like, Like,
Yeah, he gets no credit for 2017, and he's the GM of 2017. No one's like how he.
Anyone rating him, he is the guy who does the wacky salary cap stuff and stumbled into Peyton and Breeze, and that is.
Well, no, he doesn't even get
ridiculously
credit for the
unfair.
salary cap anymore because people give it to Kai, and he hired Kai. He hired Kai. So look, I'll say this for Mickey: he needs the DA hire to be right. If it's not right, it erases a lot of stuff. Let's go through. Yes, Howie Roseman. Or Brett Beach from Kansas City.
Got no complaints there.
Duke Tobin from Cincinnati. I mean, I guess.
No. I don't even.
They've been relevant.
Got it right once because they got Joe Burrow.
But I mean, we're giving Mickey credit for getting it right once with Drew Brees.
But he got it right more than once.
But
that's what I'm saying.
It's recent though. I mean, So and look, their coach is in the mix every year, so you can't take anything away from that. They got Brandon Beane fourth.
I'm okay with that.
John Lynch, I guess so. They're always good. Les Snead, Sean McVay. I don't know. We're giving them credit for going after it, but
they won the Super Bowl. They won the Super Bowl more recently. Brad Holmes 7.
I can't do Brad Holmes yet. I got to see more. See more. They got Green Bay. I mean, they just lost their guy, John Schneider.
That's fair.
Jerry Jones.
Bill Belichick. I don't like this list. Tom
Telesco, Eric DaCosta, and then Mickey. I don't know. I guess you could get them up a little bit higher, but looking at it recency, I mean, it's nothing to be up in arms about. It's probably it's in that range of
if it's a current ranking, if it's like the power rankings, we're not looking at their total body of work. Sure, he does. Yeah, I'm not going to be too easy on him. He does have a lot to prove.
But if you're saying, you got to give him credit for what he's done in the past, and he's been really good. And he doesn't get enough credit for the historical success of the team. What else we got?
I'm still throwing up my list that I'm still reading.
It goes on. Chris Greer, Joe Douglas.
Look, Chris Ballard got moved down to 18, and I agree that Chris Ballard's doing a really poor job currently. So this feels like a very current list, and in that case, I will credit that the current power ranking for Mickey Loomis deserves to be fairly.
But then they got Jacksonville at 20, when it feels like they should be a little bit higher if we're gonna go off of recent success. Anyways,
all right. Well, we asked all of the nitpicky questions about the offense, but defense, now that we've said it, how many defensive players do they have to take out of 29, 40, 71? How many have to be on defense?
Have to be one, but preferably two, even better three. But
would you go all three?
If it dictated it, yeah. I mean, but I don't think third round there's probably going to be a defensive player that's a difference maker at that spot. So. At that point, I'd want to go running back. But if you could tell me that 29 and 40 are front seven players, absolutely, I think that's the best outcome.
When I was asking about Juwan Johnson earlier, I'm thinking of a couple people that this season is just absolutely contingent about. So I want to get your confidence level on a couple players.
Hold on. How many they got to take?
Two.
All right.
They can't. Although I take that back. Every mock draft we've done, haven't we gone tight end and running back?
Well, you can't always do what you want to do.
Exactly. If they don't, they go and have to spend some money on somebody.
Yeah, I agree.
Confidence level in Trevor Penning being
out of 10
important this year. I guess out of 10, but explain.
It's impossible, I think, to go higher than a 5 until we see that he can be healthy. Yeah. We haven't seen him. We haven't even seen him as a fully formed offensive lineman. He was still raw. Some of the stuff he did was really good, especially out in space. But they didn't show us the confidence to, kind of put him in there. And then he got hurt. So it's impossible until we see him back out on the field. I think he's smart. I think the coaches like his work ethic. He's been in the building nonstop since, the season ended, rehabbing his injury. He's stayed local. So I like that he's staying here for all that stuff. So that gives a little bit of confidence, but it'd be blind confidence. So I gotta hit it at that mid level.
Well, then instead of just asking all the questions, I'll say I think he's incredibly important. I think he needs to be something.
On that level, yes.
Even more than Michael Thomas needs to. If Michael Thomas is something, I think we're talking about a NFC title game contender. He could really elevate what this team is, but I think we consider him a maybe. They have to be prepared for him not to be around. I think it's really important that Trevor Penning is a big part of this.
I'd put it like this: they can survive with Hurst, but I don't think they can thrive unless Penning's out there doing his thing, being the first-round pick that they wanted him.
And it'd be nice if Hurst is available. If Peter Ruiz, Hurst needs to be the next man up at a lot of different positions, including Ryan Ramczyk, who's always hurt.
Yeah, I agree.
this is going to be a higher number, but a guy that I don't think we talk about enough is a reason to be bullish on the team. Pete Werner. What's your confidence level that Pete Werner gets back to being the guy who was borderline team MVP for the first half of last
Oh, I don't think there's any question about it. I think he'll be better than that. The issue with him is health. Like, health is the only thing with him. He's incredibly, like, he's smart. He's been trying to take on a leadership role. Like, the thing that stood out to me last year, and you saw the scene with me, I went up and talked to him. Like, he was sitting there when he was hurt, like, still just rewinding film, going through it, taking notes. Like, he was about to play. And I asked him, like, hey, like, why are you doing this? You aren't going to play. You're out for the next few weeks. And he said, look, I need to be in that room helping these guys prepare and do all this stuff. And as a second-year player, that stood out to me. So I think I like everything about his mental aspect. It's the physical. And again, that's another thing where I'm not going to be able to be confident on him playing 17 games until we see him stay healthy. Health has been a major factor with him, and that's going to be the only thing that holds him back. And until he proves that he can do that every year, that's why I keep saying, like, I think linebacker's a low-key high need.
Alontae Taylor.
I'm confident.
You are? Because we agree that he should have been playing out of Adebo and that he probably should play out of Adebo on that other outside corner. I'm going to be a little bit more... I feel like he could go the same way as Paulson Adebo. I feel like he is a guy that we're going to witness some level of sophomore slump.
Well, no doubt.
The gravy, I mean, everything was, like, too good. Like, he way too far exceeded expectations last year. I feel like he has his rough... I feel like he has kind of the exact same...
Well, okay.
As Paulson Adebo.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, the Twitter ceiling is different than, like, kind of how I view his ceiling. Like, there were a handful of plays, and we talked about it last year, like how he was getting beat on curl routes because he was just a little bit too undisciplined going up the field. And you saw that same lack of discipline, I think, in his tackling technique. He just needs to slow down a little bit and just kind of, rein it in. But I think he's going to be really good. But, yeah, if you go off of, like, the passer rating against and all that, there's definitely going to be some disappointment. But I think he's going to be a really good starter. Yeah, I think so. I do. You
around and move him to the slot or whatever. No, I'm going to predict that they tinker a little bit.
You think he's going to get benched at some point?
Where they give Adebo a chance or do that rotation?
If you got to use the real word. If he's going to get replaced as a starter.
No, I think he's going to open the door enough for them to give Adebo a chance to take it back. But ultimately, I think he's the better one by the end of the season.
Okay.
But I'm just expecting some growing pains. And the last ones I was going to ask about were Olave and Shaheed. Same sophomore slump question. Is Olave a true wide receiver 1? Is Shaheed a true wide receiver 2 this season? Consistently throughout the year.
I think Olave is going to be real good. I think we saw his slump last year. I think he kind of dipped a little bit towards the second half of the season. I think he's going to come back, be stronger, and be a better player. Man, and I just believe in Shaheed. I do. I think he's going to be. I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to be more polished. So I don't like wide receiver 1 on the level of like Stephon Diggs. I don't know. That's a lot to say, but yeah, I think that they're going to be really good. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree on both cases. It'd be nice if Shaheed just had to be the 3. I mean, again, it goes back to where we started, Michael Thomas. If Michael Thomas is a part of that threesome, I love it. I will.
Yeah.
All right. I got nothing else.
All right. Come check out the Chick-Fil-A in Algiers, and we appreciate you guys listening. We'll be back next Monday. Kevin will be in studio with us, so big day. All right. Appreciate you guys.